Hey crew, good morning from Watergirl Quilt Co. This is Michelle here, and it's December 2nd, and we're going to open our next envelope. Now, yesterday you opened your tall tree lane pattern, and you had a piece of cork, and your homework was to find approximately a yard of low volume fabrics from your stash to use to make the background of your quilt. And we're going to see what I chose in just a minute. But we've got to tell you the word of the day for bingo. You need to write the word pressing on one of the squares somewhere on your bingo card, because pressing is going to be very important when you go to make your tall tree lane quilt, because you're going to be pressing seams open, and you're going to want to take your time and perhaps use things like your acorn pen to get a preciser pressing of your seam. Alrighty, so I'm going to show you first, do some show and tell, and here is my tall tree lane scrappy version. I put my cork on the front, so I actually have 3 different low volume fabrics that I used in my background, and I just mixed them up, just kind of haphazardly threw them in. And here is my tree. I picked a piece of brown Essex linen from my stash for the trunk. You need to now pick a piece of brown, or hey, you don't have to have a brown trunk. It's your tree, and it can be whatever color you would like it to be. But this is my tall tree lane wall hanging, and I really had fun doing it. Here's a couple tips that I learned while making mine. First off, because you are pressing open your seams, shorten your stitch length. The default on my Bernina 790 Plus is that a straight stitch is 2.5 in size, and I lower it to 2.2 when I'm pressing my seams open so that they don't come apart at the edges. That's my first tip for you. The second tip is I provided you with fabric to make the scrappy version, hoping it would put you out of your comfort zone like it did to mine. So when you are sewing your strips of fabric to make this version, and you end up with a really long tail of fabric, it's like 160, 70 inches long. Make your first cut your 12.5-inch strip, and then keep going with your 16.5-inch strips, and then for the last one do your 12.5. That's how I managed to get my fabrics to stagger the way I did, and then I played with them on my design wall. Okay, so what is in package number 2? I'm having a feeling you might have guessed it. It's soft and squishy. It's fabric. Ta-da! It's your bundle of the green fabrics that I use to make my version of the tall tree lane pattern by Sassafras Lanes. So you have got 3 fat quarters, and I will tell you that this is enough to make your Christmas tree as long as you do the scrappy approach, because you'll have some bits and bobs left over at the end that you can piece together to cut out your large section of your tree at the top. If you don't want to make a scrappy version, you'll need to pull one more 6.5-inch square of green fabric from your stash to make that work. The scrappy approach was fun. So what have we got here? First we have a pretty Allison glass green. So I didn't want to just choose Christmas prints, because I think we sometimes forget that we don't have to just use specifically designed theme fabric for holidays. We can bring in other kinds of fabrics from our stash. I also gave you a piece of Tilda fabric in the beautiful dots. I love the feel of this fabric too, and polka dots just make me happy all year round. And then to make it that winter Christmas effect, we have a Robert Kaufman fabric for you here with cute little Christmas trees and some gold metallic in them. So I hope you have fun making your version of the tall tree lane quilt, and you are going to be sewing with bias, so take your time, do well pinning or use seam-align glue if you have some of that in your stash. Those of you who got it last year, have it in your advent box if you got one last year. And enjoy and post some photos in our private group, WQC Advent 2023. Ask to join. You're on the nice list if you bought our box, and we'll let you in. I'll see you back here tomorrow, crew. Have a great day and happy holidays from Watergirl Quilt.